Hello everyone, Russell Wright from Network Empire and ThemeZoom.com. I'm so glad you could all make it on this live webinar. I know it's the middle of the week and all of us have a lot going on, so I really do appreciate taking time out of your busy day to attend this webinar. And we're covering Domain Web Studio. As you know, we do have a special running until Friday, and that is on the Painkiller application included with the Google+. And this is the last webinar covering that. So we got the platform pitch done in the beginning rather than the end, so you know what's going on. But other than that, what we're really excited about is showing you the Domain Web Studio Lite version. Sue has been a madwoman, working on this and uploading, dozens of blogs and tests, and we've been really going quite crazy because we do plan on having this be pushed out on a very large scale for the kind of elite SEOs who understand the power of website silo architecture. And since I see a lot of you on this call have come from various places, we see a lot of new faces on here. Just want to introduce the concept of website silo architecture, which, Sue, you can jump in here as well as a preface. We just want to give everybody a preface is that it was designed so that your internal linking structure on your website or blog allows you to rank for thousands of keywords or hundreds of keywords, in large sites, thousands of keywords, using up to 90% fewer inbound links than your competition by using a natural, organic hierarchy of relational language. It seems so easy once you figure it all out, and once you've used DWS the first time and Kraken and all of our software, once you really get the hang of it. But for some reason, for most of your competition, that's going to be 90% of the web developers out there, they don't know anything about this stuff. They don't know how it works, and they're too lazy to try. Well, we've automated that whole thing for you. It's taken 5 years to figure this stuff out to make it as simple as possible for you guys. And so that's really what the regular DWS version is all about. DWS Lite is even faster. And it kind of scares the crap out of me, actually, because it means that everybody, every idiot, including myself, can just turn on a blog, go research our stuff in Kraken and Domain Web Studio, find the absolute best keywords and the clusters, and click a button and siphon them right into a WordPress blog, which is what Sue's going to show you today. So that's what scares me about what we're offering you. But it's also incredibly cool because, on the other hand, I'm so glad that it's going to be easy for all of you to be able to rank higher using up to 90% fewer inbound links and integrate all the crazy stuff like Finder and the rest. So I'm a little excited, as you can tell. With no further ado, I'm just going to step out of the way and let Sue kind of show off the DWS Lite. If you have any questions, please include them in the questions box.
Hey, thanks, Russ. All right, so I can't tell you how excited I am about this new version. It's pretty, it's simple, it's slick, and I'm just going to dive right in. This particular version that I'm looking right here is obviously the unlimited version. There's also the single site version. This particular unlimited version comes in the 147 package and all of the bundles. So I'm going to create a new empire just to show you everything from the ground up, and we're going to call this webinar demo. Create the empire, and then it immediately moves us to a page where we can create a new site. So just going to fill in all of the required fields, which are the ones with the little asterisks beside them. And if you don't have, all of these fields are changeable later on. So if you don't know exactly what it is you're doing right here, you can put something in as a placeholder and come back. I'll explain these fields here in a minute. We put in defaults for everything, and you can just take those defaults. If you put your cursor here and just hit the tab down, it'll automatically fill in the rest of the fields for you. And then you can create your site. So now these particular fields here are interesting in that they talk about your site conversion. We want you to think more about your website in terms of being a business rather than just being a website. So what we're looking at here is the actual cost of your website, how much it costs for backlink, how much it costs for an article, what your conversions are. We go over all of this in detail in the help, but I just want you to be aware that that's what these fields are talking about. It helps you figure out what your budget is, and what you want your total financial goal for the website to be on a monthly basis. When you put in all of this information, then Domain Web Studio knows immediately how much traffic you need, how many conversions you need in order to be able to make the amount of money that you want. This field right here is the important one. What's your average profit that you're going to make for a sale? So let's say that my average sale on a site, my profit on a site is only $50. You can see how that's changing all of these figures down here. Okay, so that's the basic concept. I'm going to create the site profile. It immediately drops me into this site. I'm going to come over here to where I can import my keywords. I've already got some keywords that I drilled this morning in TLKT. So I'm going to say TLKT. I'm going to browse for that file. It was a credit file, and I'm going to import my keywords. Okay, so that part is just super simple, easy. On the import data, if you're not using one of our keyword tools, there is a custom template that you can use. So if you've got somebody else's data, you can just copy and paste it into the fields and go ahead and import it, and we have videos that show you how to do that. All right, so I'm here. Domain Web Studio automatically tells me what my most profitable keywords are. If I started at the top and just moved down, everything would this would be the most profitable site that I could get. But we want to create, as Russ was talking about a moment ago, a silo structure. The idea behind a silo structure is that the top level pages are your most competitive pages. That means they're going to have the most number of competing pages, because competing pages represent the volume of a conversation, how many people are talking about a particular topic. So if you start with your broadest topics at the top of your website and move down to supporting conversations underneath that topic, then you're building a silo structure. So this is where those filter items came in a few minutes ago. I'm going to just show you what I'm talking about. So I'm looking here at numbers of competing pages and these keywords. And let's say that I don't want to make too hard of a website here. Let's say something like quick loans, something like consumer credit counseling, somewhere in the 1 million to 2 million, let's say 1 million to 2.5 million pages would be the upper end of my site. So I'm going to come up here for competing pages. I'm going to set this to 2,500,000 and hit a submit. All right. So now this is going to limit what it is that I've got going here. And if I come here also and I say, hey, what I really want to look at are the silos, the suggested silos, because that's what I'm doing right now, it'll bring me back the things that fall in that list. Now, if I want more than just these 7 items that dropped in here, what it means is I need to come back over here to my business rules and filters and adjust these things that I said I was going to talk about a minute ago. So you can see right now my silos are anything over 1 million. So because I set my upper filter to 2.5 million, I've got everything from 1 million to 2.5 million that are silos. And if I want to, I can make this number smaller. I can make it, say, 750,000. Oops. Silos greater than, 750,000. And just pop that same number in here for categories. And so that everything less than 750,000 is category, and probably I would bring this down to 150,000, just as ballpark. I'm just thinking that if I'm going to reduce one, I'm probably going to want to reduce the other. And so now, that didn't bring me too many more keywords. But you can see I got one more keyword in here. All right, so I'm not putting too much thought into this. I'm just kind of showing you how this works. I'm going to start by saying, okay, I'm here at the upper end of my website, so I tell Domain Web Studio where I'm going to add these pages. And I'm going to say, let's just take all of these guys and move them over to my blueprint. So now you can see I've got these 7 concepts here as my blueprint. So now I'm going to take, let's look at consumer debt. That's an interesting concept. Now I want to have categories, and I want to have all the keywords that have got debt as a concept, and let's say submit. It brings me back 2 ideas. I'd really like a few more. Maybe I just change this to be my 750 and tell it to give me everything so that I can see ideas that are even smaller than that. And there we go. That's a little bit better. So let me just grab all of these. Oops, I got to tell it that I'm coming here under debt, this particular silo. All right, I'm going to tell it I want all of these, and I'm going to move those to my blueprint. Okay, so now I've got that silo, I've got all those keywords, and of course there's the option in here to also add synonyms and supporting keywords. So let's say counselor. Let's see if there's anything in here at all for counselor. Counselor. Show me all the keywords. It means I don't care whether or not it meets my business rules. I'm just looking for supporting terms for debt counselor. I'm going to take this and make it a really high number because, again, I'm just looking for a supporting keyword. So this is like a keyword that I would use on the page. As my writers are writing content, they're going to use these keywords. There isn't anything, interestingly enough. We might just try help. Let's look for debt help. Let's see if we can add a synonym over there. Now, normally I don't do an entire website off of one single drill. This was one TLKT drill, and I think I drilled into credit help. So normally normally what I would do once I figured out what my silos are, I would go back and do a TLKT drill for each one of those silos so that I've got plenty of keywords to work with. Lots of stuff here for help. So let me just click on help so that I'm telling Domain Web Studio that that's what I'm dealing with at the moment. And debt help, credit help, that's a similar kind of concept. Free credit help, credit fixed help, all of those kinds of concepts. Those can all go in as supporting keywords. All right, so now let's just take a look at how my blueprint's shaping up. This is my absolute favorite screen in the entirety of Domain Web Studio. All right, you can see here, these were my silos, these are my categories, and you can see that I've got supporting keywords in here for debt help. Now, you can also see that there are supporting keywords in here for consumer help. That's because we take these keywords here and automatically use them as supporting terms so that when you're outsourcer or when you are writing your content about consumer debt, you include the concepts that are going to be pages underneath that silo, right? So, okay, that's all looking pretty good. Now, I just want to explain briefly for the guys that are new here what some of these other concepts are that are displayed on this screen, which normally I would be taking more into account if I were slowing down and doing this just with a little bit more thought about the blueprint that I was putting out there. So this is competing pages and search volume. Those are both numbers that were brought in when you imported your keywords. This is the estimated conversions. So back over here on the business rules and filters screen, where you had down here your Google traffic if you're in position 1, and then, okay, so this is how many people are coming from the search engine to your site, and conversions of Google traffic. So this is once they're on your site, how many people actually buy your stuff. And if you're an affiliate, then you can insert a percentage here because that means they have to actually go to another page and push the buy button, and usually you don't get 100% of the people that do that. And then your opt-ins, if you're doing opt-in, that's just for you to keep track of, and then your average profit amount, which we talked about a minute ago. So those things all help you, or help Domain Web Studio figure out, based on this search volume, you just told it what the percentage of the search volume was that was going to come from Google and hit your website, and then how many of those people were going to actually buy your product. So that's how we figure out what this conversion number is. Time to rank is in months. Obviously, financial help. You're not going to rank for that overnight. Suggested backlinks to your website. This is how many inbound links are you going to need in order to be able to rank for this. And then suggested supporting articles on your website. So in other words, how many pages underneath, if you were going to put financial help on your website, how many pages underneath that do you need to support that concept on site? The more support that you have for it on site, the less support that you need for it in terms of inbound links. Those two ideas work hand in hand. Okay, this is the actual cost. So based on how much you said back over here in your business rules and filters, how much you said your backlink unit cost and content costs were going to be, that's what these cost values come from. This is how much it's going to cost to actually rank for this keyword. This is what the projected revenue is. So in other words, we said we made $50 a sale net. And so it's taking that $50 and it's taking this conversion and it's coming up with that. And then it's telling you here, does it meet all of your business rules? This is the ultimate, does it do everything? In other words, for the amount of money that you're going to spend, you gave it a budget over here in business rules and filters. Down here at the bottom I said, you know, I've got $5,000 that I want to spend for developing this website. So based on that, is it going to actually meet your rules over here? And this is a yes. And in fact, once you rank for it, you're going to recoup your investment of almost $5,000 within a 2-month time frame. This one down here, you're not going to recoup it in 2 months, but you will recoup it somewhere in the first year. Right? So you're not making as much money off of it, but it's still going to work. And since we turned this flag to not the default, so we showed all of the keywords, it's also showing me keywords that don't meet my business rules. And if you want to figure out exactly why or why not a keyword is meeting your business rules, you can click on that little icon there, and it will show you step by step and blow by blow exactly what's going on here, what aspects of our calculations this is meeting and not meeting. We do 17 different calculations on each keyword to determine whether or not it meets your business rules. Yeah?
And that screen is useful if you have information bias, meaning that you really need to know how all the algorithms work. So we do break it down for you.
Exactly.
Also, so a couple of questions that have come in that on a column that you didn't cover very well.
Okay.
On the far left, the third symbol from the left, where you have the letters.
Oh,
Craig? I'm
yes.
speaking specifically to Craig McKay. It tells you precisely whether or not it's a silo, a category, or an essay. Okay.
A supporting article, right.
Supporting article. The other thing that I want to make aware, because Greg, who always keeps me on my toes, has also asked, is there universal standards for these things? In the advanced or pro version of DWS, we give you a pretty precise method on how to check the page rank of your competitors for a specific theme, and then that's how you will set your silo limits. Also, Kraken still has unchanging themes and markets and micro niches. But the DWS Pro version, we do give you some standards about on the Pro version. We're not. Are we still doing it on the Lite version? I guess we are.
Yep.
So there it is. We give you, and Craig asked very specifically. Sorry, Greg. Is there best practices on how to choose your upper and lower limits? Because you went through that very, very fast. The purpose today is to show you how to get this into a blog, not to give you the standards. But Greg, yes, there's standards that we have, and they're very precise.
And I tell you what it comes down to is how expensive a site do you want to build? Like what's your USP? I mean, if you follow through the members area and you do what we recommend, then you're going to use concepts like Quora, platforms like Quora, to help you find the pain in your marketplace and determine exactly what your USP is. So then when you come here and you're looking at your keywords, you're going to know which keywords are actually addressing the pains that you want to talk to in the marketplace, right? So you're going to pick those keywords, and then when you have an idea what those keywords are, you can see what those competing pages are. So that was where at the very beginning I was like, okay, I kind of want 1 million to 2.5 million because that's the level of finance that I have, and as well it's where my pain is sitting. So if I look at these topics are in the 1 to 2.5 million, and if those are more like supporting articles, I want my website to address much broader concepts than this, then I would make those competing pages much larger, right? I'd step it up maybe to 10 million pages. So finding my silos is always a little bit of, it takes a little bit of time. not a whole lot, but maybe 10 or 15 minutes to actually find that sweet spot where I can say, okay, the concepts that I want to target for my main landing pages on my website are in this range. And once you have that range, then everything else just kind of follows on. So
yeah, keep in mind, everyone, that this is a computational model. It allows you for sculpting profitability margins based on it's an estimate. And what's really cool is as I start to target these estimates, I almost always get it. And because there's no way for us to determine the different kinds of backlinks that you're using. This is another question that came in, Sue. So you have to decide the cost per backlink in this computational model. Some people will include the cost of execution. Other people just put the cost of automated services like Link Emperor that gives you precise amounts. So there's a variety of ways that you can do that, but we do have standards for that, which Sue has created in Matt. We have those in the private members area. Those are beyond the scope of this conversation. But Sue, if you want to talk more about,
I'll just say this: you're not looking for like just cheap backlinks. You're looking for backlinks that are going to be a page rank 1 to a page rank 2. So you got to put some effort into them. If you're creating your own backlinks, then you're going to need to create backlinks to your backlinks so that you've got, and quality content obviously helps with getting the page rank to those backlinks up.
Yeah, and you might want to stack those. And this is why I'm such a big proponent of actually creating inbound links using story elements that are all part of the story.
Exactly.
Also, when you use only, and we do that with Storify, hint, hint, in the private members area.
Yes.
Also want to talk to you about just backlinking in general on the WR2 blogs that, remember, all of this is part of a much larger system that there's no possible way we could cover. But, for example, we have hundreds of automated video and meme blogs that we automate with OnlyWire and link pipeline and all those types of things. There's a maximum benefit that those types of services will give you. They still work like gangbusters, but the price is going up, and it requires, as Sue has pointed out in many previous webinars, it requires constant usage. In other words, if you ever turn off your OnlyWire account or any of those automated backlink services that we use with RSS, I mean, we're using thousands of those per week. We have the enterprise version. If you ever stop using that, the page rank, which is usually only about 1 point page rank 1, maybe 2 if you're doing ridiculous amounts, those are going to fall off the radar. You lose that page rank within 30 to 60 days after you do those services. So we're not talking about those types of things as far as prediction analysis, although I have a confession. I do use the OnlyWire pricing rates when I'm building WR2 blogs in this Empire thing, because it's just an easy heuristic for me to make.
Right. Okay.
But for your WR1 blogs, it's important that all of you guys realize, as you begin to move upward into the more advanced levels of Network Empire, such as our mid-level package, the Pro version, that's going to become really important stuff, because you're going to realize that you're not building like the typical, Google Fear blog networks. When we're talking about networks, we're talking about your online broadcasting network. All of it Google friendly, nothing legal, all of it designed to, literally penetrate your meme and your punch everywhere right now in the environment. So
I'm losing you. Your bandwidth.
Estimating your cost to just.
Go ahead and try again.
Why don't you just continue?
Okay. All right. So.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're back.
Okay. My point is just learn to recognize the difference. When Sue was talking about WR1, the backlinking things are going to be one thing. When you're dealing with WR2s, we may be talking about another type of measurement.
All right. So back at the ranch, at this point we've got a skeleton of our site. We've got one silo, right? And we've got all of our silo landing pages, and we've got one silo. And I'm just going to move through and show you. We've covered importing my keywords and designing my site. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you. There's also a checklist here. So this checklist is going to tell you exactly what you need to do for each step, and you can check it off so that you keep track of where it is that you are. And if you get lost, you can always check out where it is that you're in the big picture and how far you've gotten. Okay, so we've imported our keywords, we've made some keyword decisions, and now we're going to get ready to publish our website. So over here in the Mark for Publishing, you see your whole website laid out. You've got an idea of the value of all of these keywords. And so the cool thing with Domain Web Studio is you don't have to publish the whole thing at once. Let's say, hey, this is the only website that I've really got ready to go. And so I'm not ready to publish this silo yet, and I'm not ready to publish this silo yet, and this silo yet, but I'll publish everything else. So I'm going to prove these ideas for publishing, and this lets me get part of my blog up, and then I'll wrap back around later and finish other ideas that I have that are percolating still. And now I can come over here and I get some instructions on how to build my website. Things that I need to do, how I need to set stuff up. I can download my WordPress Silo Blog Builder plugin, and everybody who's got access to the members area is going to have access to this plugin as well. Thanks to Jeff for opening that up to all of the members. And then I can move on to building my website. Now, I already have a blog that I set up last night. It's completely empty. You can see that there's no pages, and so I'm at the built my WordPress and imported my Silo plugin already. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to export my blueprint. There's videos here that tell you exactly what to do with these steps, but I'm just going to show you really fast. Okay, so I'm going to save this file, and then I'm going to come over here to my blog. I'm going to come here to the Silo Blog Builder, and I'm going to come in here. Let me just check my settings for a second. All right, that's fine. And I'm going to come here to the Silo Importer, and I'm going to set everything to publish, and my shortcodes are going to be on, and I'm going to browse for this thing that I just downloaded, and it's probably up here, and date modified, DWS Blueprint, test project, open that bad boy, and import the Silo XML file. All right, let's just take a quick look here. I should have. There we go. It's that fast, people. All right. So I've exported my blueprint. Now, we were just talking about inbound links, and I can hear I've lost Russ. I'm hoping that you guys can still hear me. We're talking about inbound links a few minutes ago.
Me?
Yeah, you were gone for a second. You're back now. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about is the blog boost concept. So we show you, actually right here on this screen, we give you an idea of what we do for our own blog boosts, right? We do all of this stuff. This is not a pitch that you need to buy this stuff from us, but it's an idea of what we do for each one of our blog posts. And if you would like for us to do that, we can do that for you too. So just a concept, remember that every time you put out a blog post, you need to boost it. So that's kind of why we included it here along the lines. So that's it from start to finish. The one other thing that I wanted to show you guys, back here on Design My Site, I told you in the very beginning that we were looking at the unlimited version, which is just a smidge different from, let me see if I can get both these things on the screen at the same time. It's just a little bit different from the single site version. Come on, baby. Yeah, here we go. The single site version, you can see in here a lot of these fields. The idea behind the single site version was twofold. One, we wanted to make it even simpler so that you had fewer things that you needed to think about, and the other thing is that it's an idea. Like, it gives you the experience of Domain Web Studio, and if you're building more than one site, you might want to upgrade, right? It's completely functional. It does everything that I just showed you. You can see each keyword, why it passes, why it doesn't pass. We just hide a few of the fields here, and you can only build one site at a time, which means if you want to build another site, you got to delete this one and create the next one.
Okay.
All right. So
lots of questions.
Okay, go for it.
Greg asked a good question about, I need him to clarify it a little bit, but
okay.
Hang on, wow, it seems to be gone. Oh, does the content to the pages, etc., come after we import in the
Yes.
light version? Like he's really not sure where you start adding content in this process.
Yes. So in this one, you can look at quick loans here. This is an empty post. Like we took out all of what we consider to be more of the pro kind of concepts. So in other words, the agency sort of concepts. And a lot of people just want to get the framework up for their blog. They want to have a silo structure, and then they want to go to town. So you can come in here into your pages and create your content there. The light version isn't designed to do.
Yeah, you don't. There in the pro version that you were talking about, getting rig, all of that's available internally. You can outsource it.
Right.
You can do all kinds of crazy stuff to your heart's content because it's right. And there's a tab that's missing in light, and that's the main tab that we took out so that people who are not managing a large content team, they don't really want that. So the light version was designed for, quick and dirty, small business owners or anybody who just wants to get. For me, I use it in large networks for WR2s or secondary sites as well.
But what I do want to show you is the functionality that we had in the pro version in terms of being able to configure your title and your description and your keywords and your metadata has been built into the new version of the plugin. So you can actually do all of this right here on the page while you're editing your content. So and we still populate by default the keyword that you were looking for. If we had multiple keywords in here, if we looked at that page where we had synonyms, you'd see that the synonyms and everything were here in these metadata.
Okay, so he's asking the short code on that page. Does it really matter where it goes?
No, you can put it anywhere on the page. You don't even have to have it on the page.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to have it on the page for the silo. It's not like if you remove it, the silos are gone.
No.
Yeah.
Let me show you the one that's got the. Hang on, I got to find out which. I forgot which. It was consumer debt. Consumer debt. So if I come here to consumer debt, you'll see my navigation is over here. What that short code does is it puts the content in here so that it's contextually sensitive and not just on a menu. So it gives you a little bit extra oomph in terms of those inbound links, in terms of the on-site linking structure. It provides a little bit more thematic reference.
Okay, let me continue with these questions.
Okay.
Greg, if you have any specific plugin conflict issues, please contact the help desk, which is available at /members-area, networkempire.com/members-area. We are creating a comprehensive list of plugin errors, conflicts, and themes that work with this. There's very little problem with it. Like Yoast SEO works just fine with this, and Yoast SEO video sitemap works fine with this. Tested and tried and true. So you don't have to worry about that, and those are the two most important for me as well. Also, I've talked to Yoast. I'm going to be talking to Yoast more, but I'm going to about this particular thing that we're doing to make sure that everything's compatible. There's more stuff, Sue.
Yeah.
Audrey, there's a list of all of the plugins that it works with. Genesis and Thesis. I believe the Thesis theme is fine. Let me just I can pull up that list if you. Actually, let's not do that now.
No.
Let me drop when you come into the members area, there's a list of themes that do and do not work.
Yeah.
Both Genesis and Thesis are very important. I don't believe there's a problem, but I can't confirm it.
I haven't tried every single child theme. The basic themes themselves work just fine.
Yeah, okay, so that's the answer, Audrey. Genesis and Thesis works fine, but if you're doing children-based theming, we can't confirm that at this time, okay?
Yeah, if they get really crazy, if they want to control the menu structure, if it does a full-page flash thing, some of the really beautiful ones are also not conducive to menu structure.
Can you say theme forest? Okay.
Somebody asked about the drop-down menu, and that just creeped into this last version of the blog Builder plugin, and I'm having it taken out. At the moment, if you use this version here, it's going to be up for the next couple of days, then you'll just want to go in and remove those so that they don't drop down.
As far as the themify.me themes, Oscar, those are my favorite themes. We haven't had any problems thus far. It depends on which one you're using. So we'll keep you informed on that. In fact, our outsourcers are testing themify.me right now. Okay, let's just go ahead and see. All right, you guys, everybody stop asking questions. Just kidding. Let me just go back to the top before we lose these other ones. Is a blog boost like the promotion page, Deb? Blog boost is, yeah, well, the promotion, yeah, in the professional version of Domain Web Studio, the promotion that we're redesigning with the new, that's really what we're talking about, but we don't give you the step-by-step promotion inside the DWS Pro version. That's part
Light,
of...
inside the light version.
No, that's not what I was saying.
We don't give, okay, go ahead,
That's
sorry.
not what I was saying at all. I'm saying that even in the DWS Pro version, we don't give you the exact steps for what we call our proprietary blog boost.
Oh, right.
We give you a bunch of ways that you can promote. Blog boost is given to you pretty much networkempire.com/sales-page. We don't usually give that link out, but since you guys are on the webinar, it's there. If you go to the blog boost area, you can see that we charge quite a bit compared to Fiverr and the rest for our blog boosts. That should give you an idea of how much the value. Oh, there it is. Sue's got it up right there. I suppose I should move these questions out on the screen view. Yeah, so we're working on this right now, but you guys, we get huge reach when we follow these steps here. So we just exposed to you some of our proprietary technology, and we can also do it for you. So depending upon whether you're an agency or whether you want to take this in-house, this sales page actually gives you a pretty amazing step-by-step. Okay, but we also give you in Module 10 and in the upcoming video website site architecture course, I'm going to be giving you the 5 iframe punch, which is a significant way to boost your blogs as well. Anyway, so hope that answers a little bit. We actually have a specific step that we don't give in the promotion area in professional, but we do give you all the ability to make up your own blog boost and process map in-house. You know, we wanted to keep it unbiased in terms of the promotional page and Domain Web Studio Pro. Hope that answers your question. Okay, Sue's typing in questions, which is problematic for me because I don't know which one she's answering.
What is TLKT?
Okay, well, you want I really want to address that, Sue, so
okay.
Hang on a second. What is the difference between TLKT and Kraken? I'm going to let you answer that because this is really key. And everybody, I'm going to be dropping a link because for whatever reason, working with Greg the other day, he brought to my attention that we don't make it obvious that there's a 3-day path to Kraken. And somebody else just asked that. So I'm going to be dropping the link to that while Sue was talking for everybody to see.
So Kraken and TLKT, Kraken is a market analysis tool. It helps you think about keywords from the perspective of a theme rather than individual keywords. So in other words, a theme is a collection of related keywords. And so when you drill into a keyword, you drill into a theme, it brings you back all of the keywords that are semantically related to that. And what that helps you do is identify all of the important aspects of a market. And I'm going to do webinars within the next couple of weeks on both Kraken and TLKT for those that are interested in finding out more about it. So Kraken really helps for you to see the entire market laid out and follow the money and understand your competitors and make intelligent decisions about how you want to attack the market. If you have Kraken in one hand and you have Painfinder in the other hand, you can absolutely decimate a market. You can find out where all the pain is. You can understand how you want to attack it. You can figure out what your competitors are doing, what they're not doing, and you can go for the juggler. You can dominate it in the best possible way.
Yep.
And TLKT is a keyword tool by contrast, right? So where Kraken is going to bring you back keywords, the keywords that it brings you back are the ones that are heavy hitters in that market, right? They don't bring you back a lot of long tails. You don't get keywords that don't have cost or traffic or very little cost and traffic. It's looking at it from a market perspective. So obviously when you're going to get ready to do your blueprint, you want to dominate your market, you need keywords that fill in around the edges. So we needed both tools, and they work hand in hand very nicely together. If you're just trying to dominate a niche or you have a local business, TLKT will probably work just fine for you. It's got all of the abilities in there to be able to filter your keywords so that you can figure out which keywords are thematically related. We've got those filters inside the members area as you work through that. We originally had the members area set up to use Kraken, and people were getting lost. We've got more people in niches than we do in markets. So the videos now for Kraken are on a sub-page, and TLKT is now featured if you're moving through the niche domination, the small business track. And the filters are there, And I've got a couple of videos there that show you exactly how to use TLKT to get the keywords that you need to export to bring into Domain Web Studio. And as I said, I'll do webinars on both of those here very shortly. We've got older webinars that I did about 6 months ago inside. It's not even inside the members area, although the link is there.
And also keep in mind, folks, because I get this question a lot, is all of the last keyword tool is being integrated full on into Network Empire, into DWS.
And
we're about four months out from that.
Yeah.
Not TLKT, not Kraken as far as I know, but TLKT, unless Sue corrects me on that.
No, right now I'm just looking at integrating TLKT.
That means you don't have to slurp up or import any spreadsheets from any keyword tools. It'll be pulled right in, which is just totally freaky. Yes, Brian, and again, this is part of the challenge is we have two different products. I just dropped a link on that. I'm going to drop it for you again. Right now, all these products are separate, but we do have bundles. Sue and I have been madly building grids to make sure that you understand that until this integration happens, you have to purchase these products separately. If you have other keyword tools or you want to bring in the keywords from the tools that you have, you don't have to do that. Some people actually go off. I've been having a lot of good luck with that. People will go off and buy Kraken for 7 days or the half-month trial or the 3-day trial, and then they'll import all the Kraken vertical keywords into it, or they'll just get a monthly subscription to TLKT, and then they'll import that into DWS. So there are bundle rates if you guys are interested in bundling these together. The $197 per month rate is currently the best value in my opinion for what I do. And that's TLKT combined with DWS Pro, Lite, Painfinder, and the Google Plus RSS Maker. So that's really the value right there. If you are in at 147, you still have a huge amount of value. You're just probably going to be using other keyword tools or maybe sporadic purchases of Kraken and TLKT, which is totally fine to do. You know, I mean, you'd have to literally pull DWS out of my dead hands. I have to, because I put all my stuff in there, and that's really that's where you want to keep your empire, keep things growing. You know, I prefer to have all the keyword tools, but I know that some of you are on budget constraints. So those are the offerings that we have there. And if you have any questions, please do contact me on Skype, because I realize that until we incorporate all this under a unified field theory, until it becomes Network Empire, it might be a little bit confusing. But the grids that we do not have publicly are so clear that it only takes about 2 or 3 minutes to make sure that I get everybody what they want, and that's appropriate for your budget constraints. And we do have something for everybody. So my Skype is ThemeZoom. That's ThemeZoom. Feel free to contact me temporarily with any help questions and or pricing or product questions so I can make absolutely sure that you get whatever it is that you need. Okay? All right.
All right.
I was just talking to our developer on the other chat window here who's working on our Painfinder, and he's really enjoying doing that. So we have lots more treats coming for you guys on that. I don't know if Sue has that up on her screen. I want to make sure that we go over the offer before we close, Sue.
Yes.
And that's at, just go to networkempirebasic.com. Yeah, cool. And just so we have the offer up, I just want to make sure what the kind of strange twist we're doing. Basically, we wanted to, it's a ThemeZoom. Sue and I have a long-held, cherished tradition of making sure that people who've been with us for several weeks or even for a few days who kind of get what's going on, we have really high caliber thinkers and really big thinkers. You know, so what we usually do is we grandfather people in before we kind of boost our prices, and it's worked really, really well. We have, like we said on our last webinar, we do have people that were here in the ThemeZoom 1.0 days.
Yeah.
I still have some of the original price points, which is just crazy. I mean, Kraken's $1,000 a month tool, you know, and they're in there for, and that's how we roll. So on the networkempirebasic.com page, here's one of the grids that we have right here. This is the grid that's going to be changing in one day. Okay, and this is the Painfinder included and a single Google Plus RSS Maker. For those of you who have not taken my Google Plus automation course, my Google Plus course, which is being updated right now, it wouldn't make a lot of sense to you how valuable it is to turn Google Plus into an RSS feed. But when you start reading and getting deeper into our material, you'll find out how absolutely cool that is. We're always suspicious when Google makes it really difficult to make something into an RSS feed. And so what we did is we automated that because it truly does help with certain kinds of things. Not required, but it certainly does help. So until tomorrow, this $47 price point grandfathers you in to getting included the Painfinder and the Google Plus single feed. That is only, after Friday, that's only going to be part of the 147 minimum package. And so that's really our offering, our time-held tradition of pulling people into the basic membership, including some of the software and making sure that you have the tools that you need. I'm running the Painfinder software pretty much throughout the day, and we have a great course in there that shows you how I get traffic 15 minutes from now using Quora. And on the 25th, which is next Friday, is that Friday, Sue? No.
24th is Friday.
That's Saturday.
Yeah.
So that's this Saturday. I thought I had Saturday off. Anyway, we have a live webinar called Video Website Style Architecture, which, oh my gosh, I'm revealing, like, gun to my head, something that I only give to very few people. And it's the 5 iframe punch that we use for content curation, what I call question curation, and how it combines with video, and why video drives the frames. And that's not that whoever is on that webinar is going to get the material, but we're not going to share that replay with the public. It's going to go in the members area. And I'm really excited about that because I want you guys to be aware that Painfinder is an integral part of the 5 iframe content curation, RSS curation, and what I call question curation. That's why we built the application for you. So, and then Google Plus is so very cool because I love the feeling that all of my WR1 and WR2 blogs, I always associate a Google Plus page or Google Plus business page, but I also know that they're always being automated. So every time it's just one more way to communicate with Google, you know, what videos you've published and what content you published out there. So it's kind of a lot of fun. And gosh, I've lost track with the overwhelming number of questions that are coming in now.
Yeah.
You want to, okay, help, Sue.
You know, I'm just going to answer these out loud because it's going to be quicker.
Yeah.
I've got Audrey who says she's a $47 member. Does she need to upgrade to the 140?
Oh, yeah, okay. Good. I'm glad that you're with us, Audrey. I don't want to put any pressure on you because when the 147 content changes, there'll be another grandfather launch. So we do have some changes we'll be making to 147, but it's all good. Like you're at a, the fact that you're in at 47 is really what we're focused on right now.
Yeah.
And if you want to contact me on Skype, I can make doubly sure that you get what it is that you need without upselling or putting any pressure on, because you really have an awesome value. Even though you don't have any keyword tools at 47, you do have the Painfinder tool. And determining which keywords you put into Painfinder, that's where you do need an awesome keyword. Like, there is nothing cooler than what I'm doing right now for a client. I'm pulling the best keywords with the highest co-occurrence out of the last keyword tool, and then I'm putting those individual keywords into Painfinder and literally generating traffic in 15 minutes with answering the top 5 questions that have been viewed the most number of times. And that's something we want to show you guys. I guess Sue is going to show you the Painfinder app if you just want to open that up real quick.
Actually, I'll shoot. Do you want me to shoot it to you and you show them?
Okay, but I have to remove all the adult material from my screen. Hang on a second. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm totally kidding. That always backfires in my face. Like, people believe that I work in adult. Yeah, no, you can go ahead and do that. But no, seriously, let me get rid of this adult material.
Okay.
Okay, no, we're good. Okay, show my screen. 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. So this is an example of the Painfinder interface in version 1.0. And oh my gosh, you guys, we have such really amazingly cool stuff coming. And then this is an example of the Google Plus RSS maker. This is seriously powerful as well. So you'll be getting one feed with the $47. So Audrey, you should already have access to one of these feeds to start with. Okay. And the Painfinder, please excuse the logo, we have a brand new one coming. It's super professional. I don't know what happened there. It was late. We had that coffee. And all you have to do is, these are projects that either myself or my students have drilled into. All you'll do is you'll just drill in one keyword at a time. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll pull a keyword out of TLKT or Kraken and just create a project and put the name and the keyword in there. And let me just drill into one that's already been drilled. Let's say, wow, that's seriously weird to see what just happened.
I'm glad I wasn't watching. You're hitting the Actions button over on the side, right? No, no, just click on an Actions button. What is you trying to do? Actually, I really wasn't
I'm in
watching.
somebody. Hang on, let me just go back. I might need to double check something. Look at my projects. Huh, very strange. Okay. Well, I'm going to pretend nothing weird happened just now and continue as if it's good. So let's go ahead and take a look at something like house cleaning. And what you can see here is that the questions that are the most viewed, you can see the views right here, come back first. Okay, so if you've got a house cleaning business or a house cleaning membership site or something like that, you could just go here and enter this question first. And if you log in the members area under the Painfinder area, you can see some of my old Quora Inception course videos. I'm redoing those now, and I'll show you how to get traffic 15 minutes from now. But you put one keyword at a time in this now, guys. And I pull both Kraken and TOKT questions. We have a whole process inside the members area. It's called the ISDNA process. And you come up with the best questions that you possibly can, and you're able to pull back. Okay, what you guys just saw there was a bug. All right, so that's why the questions in the project area. I think what happened is my cookies were logged into another student's account when I hit the back button, so I apologize for that. But you get the general idea of the way that it works. Okay, and that's incredibly cool because you're going to know exactly what to talk about. And this is what we use. Like imagine having your blog on house cleaning you just launched and started in perfect silo structure. Now all you do is need to write content, right? Net content. Well, you're not going to run out of content because you already know what the market is interested in. And what's even cooler is if you look over here, there's only been 3 answers to this. This is especially useful for curators and subject matter experts. I've seen only 3 answers for questions that have been viewed like 40,000 times, you guys. Okay, and if you start taking the curation course and the content course and the video website style architecture course, what happens here is you start creating, promoting, conducting, and educating while driving traffic and branding all at the same time in like 4 steps while you're doing SEO. There's nothing quite like the steps that we're putting together, and it's becoming more and more coherent for you every day as we tighten the material for you. So I just wanted you to see kind of what the Painfinder application is about. Google Plus is super easy as well. All you do is you go into a project and then you get one of these for $47 minimum. And we are actually talking about how many Google Plus feeds you're going to be getting for Pro version. There's some debate right now. Okay, so we're going to leave that behind until our team determines what that is. But you just simply go to a project and you can see here's something for PR reach. All you have to do to create a Google Plus feed is log in. You're going to need your Google Plus code. I hope all of you noticed how crazy and wild Google Plus has gotten in the last week and a half and all the changes. Funny how everybody is switching to kind of a Pinterest-style global overview, isn't it? You know, we'll talk more about that some other time. But so this is the project is PR Reach. Okay, the author is my friend Rob Burns, and took a Google Plus business page, and you just turn it into. You can get an RSS feed made out of your fetch posts, and you can get an RSS feed made out of your fetch plus ones. If you're the kind of person that wants to know that everything that you plus is going to be turned into an RSS feed, and you can hand it to an outsourced staff member whose sole job is to make sure that they plus everything that your staff or your network creates. That's pretty easy for hand curating, but there's a lot of ways that you can use that. So both of those are turned into RSS feeds pretty much instantly. Okay, and so that's also part of one of the many diabolical systems when you start using all these components together that you get. Okay, so that's the offer. If you are interested in this, you have about a day. Then we're going to kind of shut this offer down, and I'm going to change that page to remove the Painfinder and the Google Plus, and then we're going to start focusing really hardcore on the 147, 197 package as we move into all of the really, really amazing integration of how these things work. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if there are any finalized questions before we wrap this baby up. Looks like Sue's been answering most people's questions.
Been trying to stay on top of it. There's been a lot.
She's a mad woman once she gets started. Let me just see here if I can pull this off. Okay. Yeah, there is quite a bit of information coming in, questions coming in. All right. John, you're asking how does Painfinder grab the questions? Yes is the answer to that. Stacy Moore. Even an alphabetical sort of Painfinder would be helpful. Okay. Stacy, I am collecting, but you see that we have put them in the most number of views. Do you see why that's more valuable? I definitely see it's a good idea, but we should be able to alphabetize it.
She's actually talking about the projects. When you drill into projects,
okay.
She was asking if we could put them in folders so that they married up with the projects in Domain Web Studio.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, that is where we're heading.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on how much of a challenge that is, and we're really excited because see, we are putting it all under one universal crazy.
Yes, actually, we will have Core completely integrated with Domain Web Studio, or Core. I don't mean Core, I mean Painfinder.
Yeah, we got to stop calling it that.
Yes, sorry.
Which is John. While I'm not answering your question exactly. John, currently we're pulling stuff from Quora, but we're going to start pulling them from forums and a variety of other things. Guys, let me give you a little bit of vision. I'll just come clean here. What I mean by doomsday device. Okay, like I'm seriously and totally not kidding. Okay, a lot of the questions, Greg Holman, that you've asked me are. Imagine knowing where the biggest source of most questions and interests are, stacking them instantly in Domain Web Studio in the most appropriate page rank-based, link-building, cost-effective website silo architecture culture so that you know you're automatically going to rank using far fewer inbound links from the beginning based on the words. You don't even have to know the pain at that point, just the words. Automatically you're going to rank higher than most people because the structure is proper and you haven't spent a ton of time building website style architecture like all your competition does because you know it's a waste of time because you have this tool and you can spend all the time focusing on the pain and the right questions and the videos. Okay, you immediately go to step 2, which is to pull all the questions and the pain based on your product because you already know how much money you're going to make based on the business decision rules in Domain Web Studio. So you start pulling the pain questions and creating both your curation, your backlinking, your blog boosts, and your 5-frame punch. Within 24 hours, you start kicking traffic in with high-level authority from places like Quora, Scoopit, Storify, and the rest. Meanwhile, those are all giving you backlinks to everything that you're doing. And because you know what you're doing so well, as you build your automated WR2 blogs on the second network, the traffic starts coming in out of nowhere, especially when you learn all the methods that we're doing. Okay, and all of a sudden you have, well, it's just, thanks, Brian, and it's just, I mean, this has been the vision all along. It hasn't been easy to describe. It's like me trying to understand what goes on in Sue's head. Okay, I mean, give me 2 weeks, I might figure out a basic back end that she's building, right? But we've gotten better and better at being able to communicate to the open market what's going on in the back end because it's truly diabolical. I don't know how else to say it. It's pure evil. It's the photo negative of what Google limits that Google would give you. Okay, so literally it's a photo negative of what a system like Google would want to be giving you. And you can't do it all with a plugin, Craig. There's certain things when it comes to, let me, for example, I'm still on the screen, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Let me just, I want to answer Craig because he's asking so many questions.
What's his question? Because I don't think that
well, I'm going to answer the question behind the question. That's more interesting. So he's asking, do we do it with a plugin? And the answer is yes. No, the plugin is one part. Craig, the focus of the plugin is to make sure that everything that you've accomplished in what Sue Bell showed you today, in terms of the right keywords, costs, and everything in DWS, are easily turned into a blog. Does that make sense? In other words, the structure, the framework, if you will, needs to be easily brought into a blog, right?
That blog can be a website or a blog, by the way.
Yeah, you don't have, a plugin's not useful if it's an HTML thing. You can't use it with places like Drupal. But remember, we give you the XML for all that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. But what I'm trying to emphasize, guys, is that Craig, we're way bigger than just, plugin-based thinking, okay? Plugins are all the rage right now, okay? And they will probably be very, very powerful for the next, few years. But the problem is, which is why we only give you there's only 8 that I even use. You don't need tons of plugins, guys. In fact, let me say this. If you are on the Lawyers Forum and you're still seduced by plugins coming in every day, you probably, seriously seduced, gosh, should I buy or not? You probably don't understand what's on my screen right now. Okay, there's only a few reasons that you would use plugins with blog networks once you understand what you're really trying to accomplish. What we're trying to do is show you that with a plugin, Craig, you can make your money site and you can rank higher using far fewer inbound links than your competition. Okay, at that point, you have to determine the correct plugins and how they work with your network. But when it comes to we're giving you all the tools together, like like the Painfinder, RSS feeds. You're never going to be, for example, Craig, I built the Google Plus RSS maker because the plugins were failing. Don't get Sue started on the two major Warrior Forum programmers that we worked for like 10 minutes whose Google Plus RSS feeds failed. Okay, it takes seriously strong programming to build this stuff for you. So to answer your question, no, the Google Plus RSS feed maker is not going to work as a plugin, because what happens in your blog is if you start using too many plugins and they all suck, you get compromised or your blog fails or it slows down. Okay, so we actually remove automation from individual blogs as quickly as we can if there's too much stuff going on. So the main plugin that we provide for you right now is the output from our software into into your WordPress site, so that you don't have to build it by hand, which takes what, Sue? A blog building by hand properly with the right keywords. I'm not talking about our Done For You course. I'm talking about just like doing it manually, right?
Right.
And making sure it matches all the DWS. That takes a long time, right?
I'd probably pull my hair out before I got it done, but I would imagine it'd take me the better part of a week.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's part of the reason I got started making so many, hundreds of automated video blogs, is like I didn't have to like manually figure out the WR, because you got to be really focused on your WR1 stuff, you guys. You got to really focus on your primary blog. This is your transaction site. So hopefully that makes sense, Craig, that the focus of our plugin that we're working on, where it is appropriate to have a plugin, is when you're interfacing with an application that's taken 4 years to build, has actually more than that, has huge amounts of heuristics and major keyword stuff. It's just the easier way to do it. If you tried to use a plugin for everything, your blog would not run as efficiently and effectively. Hopefully that makes sense. So you can see here on the WR1 ring, okay, this is not a web ring like a Google blog ring, okay? We're just showing you how your brand should interface with your own personal broadcasting network. Okay, so that's really where we're heading. So the best thing for me to answer that, Craig, would be everything that you need inside of one login area, yes. But with one plugin, no. We're going to give you the tools inside Network Empire for you to build your own personal brand broadcasting empire, whether that's a vlog, a plog, or a blog, meaning a video blog, a podcasting blog, or a regular blog. The point is that you're going to understand when to automate and when not to, and you're going to understand how to make sure that all the blogs that you build have ridiculous ranking power because you've taken the extra time to research it. But the good news is that when you import those keywords and keyword clusters, or what Sue and I call your EPA keyword DNA, which is really now called your empire keywords, right? By the time you're done with your project in DWS, you're going to have every conceivable keyword that you could possibly imagine and many that you can't distributed equally in your network, so that you're driving traffic, all of them, from all those locations to your transaction. And all those tools, and many of it will be automated, all those tools will be available in the Network Empire members area more and more as we begin to consolidate and centralize that power. Is that a decent explanation at this point, Craig? Because I know that you're new with our material. Okay, good.
All right, so I want to talk about something else that Craig asked too. He wanted to know whether or not, if you have an existing blog, can you add silos onto that? And yes. Mm-hmm. The ones that we've tried, we've had great success with. You want to make sure that your keywords don't duplicate any of the main keywords that are already there on your pages and your posts. And back your site up before you do it, but it shouldn't override anything. It should come in nicely and it should work nicely. Sometimes people have a little bit of an issue with the theme that they're using. If you run into problems, give us a ping and we'll see if we can help you out.
Yeah, the bolt-on silo method works really well for some.
Yeah.
So we like that method. Okay. I don't have anything really else to say. Doesn't look like there's a lot more questions coming in still. Those of you who are not with us on any kind of membership-based level, I strongly recommend that you come in, because you're going to look backwards in about 3 or 4 weeks and you're going to see what's happened. The things that I'm talking to you about right now are coming to pass. Our centralized area is rapidly moving forward with our developers, which is now several, and we're really excited and really happy to be able to bring. It just feels so great, to this, to be able to offer you things that we're using every day and are highly effective. And if you've never met anybody who's been with us since the early years in the theme Zoom era, we have a lot of beginners and intermediates that are now like agency level and quite successful agencies. So we're hoping that you'll be able to do the same. Okay, Roland, let's see, is there a case study that follows the whole program from Go to, I don't know what that means, from Go to
we have some coming. I don't have anything that I'm ready to show you yet. Somebody else asked about an existing silo structured site that they could look at. Would you pull up credithelpinfo.com? This one was actually an original Kraken site, but it's a well-constructed silo example, and I'm going to be doing a video series here in a minute that I'll show you how to take that and turn it into a blog over using Domain Web Studio.
Yeah, so we have several, it's problematic when it comes to like our high-paying clients to show you every aspect of everything, so we really need to develop prototyping for you guys so that we have some of them. Is that a case study? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a great question, Roland. Yeah, we have all the case studies coming. They're running in parallel, so.
We've been so busy developing the software for the last couple of years that we haven't had time to do our own sites, but we finally got someone that are coming together, so we'll show you everything soon.
It looks like we have another question.
Yeah.
Can you also speak to the issue of bolting on an existing site again? That could use some added info, I think.
I think we should do another webinar where we just show people how to do it,
yep.
because it's a whole 45-minute process in and of itself to really explain everything, so I'll just make a note here that we'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, Roland, where can you find what? Bolt-on silo information or prototyping information?
I think he means the site because he was asking for, it might be, Saturday's webinar.
Oh, sure.
The link.
Let me drop the webinar link to that. Actually, Sue.
Do you want me to do that?
Well, I don't know how much information I compromise if I go there right now.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Just a sec.
That webinar is almost double overbooked. So if you do
show
sign
up early.
yeah, and it will not be replayed for the general public. So if anybody's not a member, we're just not giving it away. We did something like 400 sales or something in that. Is there a case study that follows the whole program? Oh yeah, I don't know, Roland, if you just heard everything we just said. There isn't one. Okay. So we have clients that we're doing this with, but I can't reveal their sites. So
yeah,
we'll be providing you. Yeah. Okay. So Brian Rills is asking, how do you silo 300 pages, for example?
You start over. I wouldn't even go down that path. I actually, when we started putting ThemeZoom together, I had a 500-page site, and we tried to go in there and re-silo it, and we did some micro-siloing, which was like, we adjusted the links on some pages, and that actually was the thing that really turned me on to siloing, because we did that with just a few pages, and I watched the page rank jump, the rankings jump on those pages just phenomenally. And I tell you, we mapped the whole thing out, and we racked our brains for a couple of weeks trying to figure out how to turn that thing into silo. We just decided to start all over again. So that was where we came up with the idea of a bolt-on silo. So we take this 300 ginormous page site, and we just start with silos on the side and sanity, and then as those pages are ranking, we get rid of the original concepts, those legacy pages on the original site, and maybe do 301s. If they had page rank and ranking, then we do 301, redirects over to the appropriate pages in the new silo set. And that's why I said if we're going to talk about bolt-on silos, that's a whole other webinar.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, there's no way we can get in that today.
Where do I go to find this link, Russ?
What do you mean? To
the link to the webinar tomorrow, or for Saturday.
It's in webinar, go to webinar.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the easiest place to find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's pretty much a wrap. We'll go ahead and stay on until we post this webinar. And I really thank you all for your participation. And we really do hope to see you guys on the inside. And as we move forward with the full Network Empire integration, of all the RSS feeds, one feeder with them all, the one web rank system, content curation integration, driving all your traffic towards your conversion and your money site or your transaction site. It's funny because, you know, the video website style architecture course has the video website style architecture course has been very important because I think a lot of where you have really highly technical people that are quite successful with SEO silo architecture, and the problem is that they lose their they don't integrate their persuasion. So we have a new concept that we've always used it, but we just actually created it on our wiki. It's called website persuasion architecture. This is what I really want the students who are kind of not in my camp, so to speak. I mean, Sue Bell and I have always, you know, we integrate both of each other's work. I'm very, very focused on video right now as a persuasion mechanism, and none of the rules change with website style architecture. And we're going to cover this on Saturday. So website style architecture is for SEO, while persuasion architecture is more for eco. Okay, and this is really where this is engagement conversion architecture. So when you combine, the purpose of this webinar on Saturday is to make sure that all of the technical integration and the persuasion integration all happens kind of layered on top of each other. And when that kind of stuff happens, not only are you getting the traffic signal to Google, which you can see in the analytics files, which, you know, you have the right site structure internally, but you're using all the components of the story, all the components of the topic that you're talking about, and you're getting all the social signals, the curation signals, and each component as it breaks down in the story. It's also helping you get backlinks. And that's where things get really, really cool, because video is such a driver right now. We're going to see it be more of a driver. And we're showing that when these work, these two combined are way more powerful than any one of them isolated on their own. So that's what we'll be covering. And again, that's available to you inside the networkempire.com members area in our new course called Video Website Style Architecture. Just wanted you guys to understand that that was made by me for highly technical people that forget the obvious, that video converts higher than no video. It's that simple. So we're really talking about just making sure that you put video persuasion on the page where it's appropriate and setting up a model that makes sense to you. Okay, Rick is asking, can you silo an e-commerce site, for example, an
Absolutely.
Amazon affiliate store in the boating niche? Rick, yes, you can. Again, the same thing holds if you've got a massive infrastructure where, you know, you got 300 to 500 pages. Sometimes it can be too difficult to restart, but you can create new categories and start over. But absolutely, of course, e-commerce. In fact, e-commerce sites, I highly recommend that you silo.
Yeah.
Your e-commerce. In fact, that's where you start getting some of the biggest bang for your buck if you do it properly.
Yeah.
And you can also really screw up. We've dealt with clients. We dealt with a really, really large client that, you know, had some challenges with their e-commerce site. And it's, you know, the more you have going on, the harder it is to kind of scrape away the unwanted dirt and figure out where the structure has gone bad. I'll be honest with you guys, when it comes to really, really huge sites, I don't have the technical expertise to be able to do that. I come screaming and crying to Sue. You know, whenever there's a site that's over 100 pages, it's kind of over for me. And so what I do when Sue and I have clients at that level is I do the persuasion architecture. I look at conversion, look at percentages. I look at the human aspect of that, cybernetics, and then the technical stuff. Sue and sometimes our other team will go in there and look and see where the page rank is being lost or hijacked. So that's how that works.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. So thank you so much. And that's all that we really have for today.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Appreciate your time.
Yep, bye-bye.